Underwood. Thin ice! To smoke some weed and shut up. My God.
Oh,
I thought for sure you-
there it is. Boom!
Yes! All right, Illini Basketball Podcast, episode 192. That's a different cadence of an all right. I will say I'm pretty beardless in those videos of the
That's true.
podcast thing. So there you go. Episode 192, January 23rd, 2024. It's a Tuesday, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
I believe, yeah. You know me.
Yep, armchairillini.com. Check them out. Check out all the stuff there, the writing and such of thing of that on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Follow our Twitter at Podcast Line. I got new little thing ticker at the bottom here, added some stuff just to kind of diversify it with each episode. You know, people watching might not have, the title in front of them or whatever. I don't know. I just figured it'd be better than the generic. So, plenty to discuss today. I think we should start with the game. You want to do timestamps for this episode? Seems like that should be.
I got you.
Because I have the stuff printed instead.
Also, warning: a little later, this might turn rated R, guys. I just want to throw that out there. If you're a child, you might want to step away after we talk about the Rutgers game.
I'll put the E tag on it.
But yeah, Illinois coming off a win. It got a little close against Rutgers. I think it was a 4-point game at one point, and then Illinois just kind of ran away with it. Ended up winning by 23. So good game. Terrence Shannon was back.
Yeah. There's a lot to discuss with that. I will say it'll be nice to not have to talk as much about the Shannon stuff in this episode. There's a couple things to talk about still, but I felt like our last episode, obviously, a lot of breaking news during the episode, which is great.
Yeah.
I think that worked out well for us, but
now it's going to be just on the court talk. I think you tweeted out Twitter is a dark place. So if you,
it is,
if you're a Shannon fan, probably don't go look at Twitter.
No.
Steve, what's going on? How you doing? Hinkle, what's up? Wants to know how long until Armchair cuts ties with Ethan attacking the fan base. Just hang on, Hinkle. It'll be a good time. So
I will say this about Rutgers. I've always had an appreciation and a respect for Rutgers because they're like a program that's probably in a much better spot than they would be with a different coach. Like I think Pikel's a really good coach.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's insane for the number of Rutgers fans I saw on Twitter attacking Brad Underwood over playing Terrence Shannon. It's like, what do you want Brad Underwood to do? I mean, there's zero education on the situation from them. Saying that Brad, quote, doesn't have a moral compass. I mean, what do we even do? Like, that is just stop being mad that you lost by 23. You lose the game whether he's playing or not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a hard spot for everybody. You know, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be worse on the road. It is what it is.
I think Brad has handled this as well as any coach can. I think a lot of that has to do with the way that, Josh Whitman has probably given a lot of directives on this. And I think they've handled it really well from their perspective, from the athletic perspective of the university. I think they've handled it about as well as they could have. And I just think it's hilarious that Rutgers fans ignoring how bad their team is this year, which I think that, it's maybe a little bit easier given the recruiting class they have coming in and obviously the success they've had the last few years. But their number one takeaway from this game seems to be about Shannon getting to play. Like, I feel like that's going to be a common theme for every game Illinois wins. And then when Illinois loses, it's going to be, oh, we beat you with Shannon. Like, it's just it's going to be, if you thought Illini Twitter was tough now, it's, or tough back then, I guess, last season even. Good luck now.
Yeah. And I mean, there's some Illini fans out there not making it any easier on Twitter.
Certainly. I'm trying my best to not focus on too much on Twitter. One thing that I find interesting is the Illini social media just going to ignore Shannon the rest of the year? Like, if he has 40 points, we're going to act like he didn't play?
It's weird. Yeah, because the Big Ten's putting out highlights of Shannon, but Illini basketball.
We'll see how they do.
Have a picture of him.
We'll see how they do with this next game, but I think they're probably scared of what the replies might look like, which is just like you just got to take it on the chin. I don't really know what else.
I mean, you don't want to. Will be the same regardless, right?
Yeah, don't turn the comments off either. Just post it.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the court. 2 players of the game for us. I went with Quincy Guerrier for probably the 7th time. I think every time he's had a double-double.
We'll go back at the end of the year and check.
Yeah, I will. Every time he's had a double-double, I've went with Quincy. 30 minutes, 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, so much better three-point shooting this game. His free throws are a bit concerning. 3 of 8 from the line, 15 points, 11 rebounds. Just another great game from him. Had maybe a couple dunk tip-ins. One was a 3. I think he might have had another one later on, but continues to cut well. The media asked him what he thought about Brad Underwood's ass chewings and how he handled it so well. And he said that they're not as bad as Boeheim's. So he said, quote, "I came here to win. I know it's a winning program. And I am grateful to have Coach Underwood coaching." Can we stop the Brad Underwood's too hard of a coach narrative, please?
I feel like,
guess what? They transfer out. We've seen it.
yeah. I don't think that. I don't know what, there was a whole discussion last year at Northwestern, so we'll see how it goes Wednesday.
Yeah.
And he has had moments like that, but I think people like it a lot more when you're winning and you're doing that than losing. My pick is Justin Harmon. I think these were the two clear-cut choices for this. They were pretty much the reason Illinois didn't complete. I mean, Shannon had a big part of why they didn't sink when it was 55-51, but Harmon makes some huge shots, 29 minutes, 8 of 13 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. So if there are any questions about Harmon's minutes with Shannon back, it didn't seem like it affected him too much in this game. And he also earned it. So I think you're probably going to see some less, depending probably on performance, but fewer minutes from Goody in certain spots. I think there will be games where Harmon doesn't play as much, but he played plenty in this game. And didn't play his full number of minutes.
And Ty Rogers' minutes were a little bit less this game than they have been. But yeah, Harmon attacked the hoop more this game, I thought, which was nice. Some of those during the watch party it was one of those yes, one of those things. But if we get this Harmon from here on out, it's pretty good. I think I saw writing Illini said that Illinois is like 9-0 when Harmon scores 7 or more, and they're 5-4 when he doesn't, or something like that.
I thought writing Illini was too busy confusing everybody by tweeting about the women's and men's basketball game.
That's true. He might have had the wrong team. I don't know. Do they have a Justin Harmon on the women's team? So
probably not, but we'd have to check.
It was a podium game for Harmon and Guerrier. Harmon reiterated multiple times that Illinois couldn't drop another one at home. So they needed to step up. He said that practice was really tough all week.
Hinkle, how did I get shoved in a locker when his points didn't make any sense? We'll get to
it. Yeah, okay.
Hinkle's trying to make me mad. It's fine.
Harmon said that he said to the media that he likes coming off the bench. He said, quote, "Being older, I just observe stuff way better now." So he's okay with his role on this team right now. Underwood said of him, quote, "I've been really hard on Justin, and he will tell you that. He's my dude, though. He's the guy I have challenged. I put more on a 6-man type responsibility than most coaches do. I want that guy to be a stud. I want that guy to be a bad mother." Stopped.
And then the point here just says Illinois on my paper.
Well, that was going to be writing Illinois is, and then I got sidetracked
there you go.
with the writing Illini stuff. That's what was supposed to be there.
Yeah, so, I thought, Harmon, I mean, 8 of 13 from the field. That means he's 6 of 8 for shots that weren't threes, which I think is great. We saw how many they go 0 for 7 from the field against Maryland. So bit of a different look here. They're going to need him in Evanston, I think, with the guard play. And we don't need to look ahead to any games, but the Indiana game is going to be very interesting on Saturday. The way Woodson was talking about Illinois, I thought was interesting. Pretty much calling them they play small ball or small, which everybody is 6'4" and above. So I don't know if my center wants to play. Seems like things are going well in Bloomington.
Steve says I thought it was Harmon's best game. I agree. Amani is coming back. Just got in, so if you guys mentioned that already, my bad. No, we'll talk about that in the preview to the next game. But yeah, Piper tweeted out that he was putting up threes. Underwood said that he would be back. So Amani is back. Brad was, the guy said it was nice to have everybody back, and Brad made sure to reiterate that they don't have Amani Hansberry back. So I think we'll see an uptick, in time for him. Downtick for Danger. Maybe.
Yeah, if Amani's going to come in and make threes, then yeah.
Yeah. On to the starters. Hawkins, 33 minutes, just filled up the stat sheet once again. 12 points, 5 of 12, 1 of 7 from 3, which is rough. He did hit a big one later in the game. 1 for 2 from the line, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals, 2 blocks. Coleman right now, the last couple games, is just doing everything. The ball swiping is really good right now. I don't know what changed or what happened, but that's
Illinois is 12. Illinois is 12 for 49 from 3 in the last 2 Sunday games.
Ooh.
6 for 27 in this game, 6 for 22 against Maryland. So not great. This was probably their worst 3-point performance of the year, unless I'm forgetting one. 6 for 27, 22%. 27% last Sunday, 33% against Michigan State, 42% against Purdue, 55% against Northwestern, 40% against FDU. I mean, the list goes on and on. They haven't shot that poorly from 3 pretty much all year. I mean, even the Tennessee game, they weren't great, but they were 25%. So that's better than this. But this is how you can win games. Here's how you win games if Coleman Hawkins shoots 1 for 7 from 3. He does everything else.
Yeah.
Shannon is playing and scoring and playing defense. And then Harmon and Guerrier contribute, double-digit points. So
yeah. And that's,
you can win games against teams that are in your conference if Coleman's missing threes, which they made it look like it was going to be harder than – like this was a 4-point game with like 10 minutes
left, yeah.
Yeah, so –
but Rutgers is one of those, they make it hard to get to the lane. They made it hard. They doubled the mask a lot. You kind of have to take threes, and it helps when you make those threes. It definitely changes things.
Illinois ended up 26 for 36 from 2 in this game, so 72%. So they ended up being effective, mainly because Harmon goes 6 for 8 from 2. Shannon goes 4 for 5 from 2. Dane makes both of his shots. Ty makes both of his shots. Hawkins goes 4 for 5 from 2. Damask was their worst guy from 2, and he went 50% 4 for 8. DGL goes 1 for 1 from 2, and then Guerrier 3 for 5. So they did a lot of the same things against Maryland offensively, where they weren't making any threes. They just weren't finishing inside the 3-point line. In this game, they did. Against a Rutgers
in that game.
A Rutgers team that has the size. I mean, Cliff is a beast. He had a great game. This has got to be Cliff's best game against Illinois. I feel like he always does things against Illinois, but I think this was his best. I mean, he made a 3, so that's a big. Big
I think it was his first 3 of the year. But 22 points for Cliff. And Underwood even talked about Cliff having a great game. They definitely attacked Coleman Hawkins, but I think Coleman held his own. I believe Coleman only had 1 foul in this game, right?
Liar.
Okay. But Underwood, talked about Cliff's good game, but he also said that their main focus was to stop Mag and Simpson, which they held Mag to 2 points and Simpson to 6. So game planned how they wanted to game plan, I guess.
How about the assist numbers? Pretty good. 17
assists,
32 shots. Free throws were also about as bad as they've been all year. 16 for 27, 59%. So
free throws were brutal this game, which is weird when you get your second best free throw shooter back and he takes 10 of them and you're still. But a lot of it was Quincy on the offensive glass, got 5 offensive rebounds, put him back, and then he went to the line 8 times and missed 5. You can't have that.
Also, AJ Red 0 for 2.
That's true. Forrest Gump 9-0 when Harmon scores 7. Okay.
Let me fact check that.
Harmon said of Coleman, quote, "I would say Coleman is a different player than what I had last year at the 5 position." I think that's kind of everybody, but he said, "I don't know how to explain it. He is so smart. He knows the scouting report like the back of his hand. He is above my level in smartness."
What a weird number to when Harmon scores 7 or more. That's kind of weird. I don't know.
It is a weird number.
They're 6-0 when he scores 10 or more. How about that? Let's just do that. They've also won a game where he scored 1 point.
Kayla wants to know the fascination with basketball.
Yeah, no doubt. Harmon has 3 games this year scoring 1 point. How about that?
Really?
He had 1 against Maryland, 1 against Marquette, 1 against Oakland.
That's interesting.
Boy, that Maryland game was the lowest of the low for him. Jesus.
It was
21 minutes, 1 point, 0 field goals. That's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know how he wouldn't have 0 field goals if he had 1 point, because you can't score a 1-pointer, Kayla. Basketball.
Damask, 33 minutes, 12 points, 4 of 10, 0 for 2 from 3. Still struggling from 3. What is he from 3 now?
Damask got to be like 20%, right? 21.6, 16 for 74, 0 for 6 in the last 2 games.
Would you like to see him just stop?
Or... No. Well, why? Like what?
50% from inside.
He took 2 of them though. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
He's capable of making them.
Is he?
Yes.
He's 20% of them.
Okay, we can't. I know it's
he makes 2 every 10.
I know it's a different level, but like he shot 35% last year, 34% the year before that, 38% in his freshman year. I know it's a different level, but he'll figure it out.
I don't think he's going to get it to 30% this year.
He doesn't need to. What if he has a game in the tournament where he makes 4 threes?
That'd be amazing. 4 or 5 from the line, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks. Led the team in turnovers again with 3. Underwood said that, quote, they doubled us all night, and that's great. We are content with that. Are you starting to worry about Damask's ability to get out of the double teams? Slightly.
Starting to worry. I mean, it's been a worry. I think it's less of a worry with Shannon in there because teams can't just do that whenever they want. Because you don't want to. I mean, if you have the Shannon, Damask, Goody, Harmon, take Goody out of that. Shannon, Damask, Harmon, Guerrier, Hawkins lineup. Are you going to double Damask like every time? I don't know. And you also got to think about the fact that Damask teams are going to look at him. Teams in the tournament are going to look at him and think shooter, but he's really not. So he'll do other things to him. They see the white guy, they say shooter.
Yeah.
And Illinois is a classic example of a team that stinks in the tournament at shooting under Brad. Like that Chattanooga game was horrific shooting. Houston, they got destroyed. Last year was a joke. This is a team they can't adjust to the depth perception and the rims and the nets in these neutral arenas. It's tough.
Yeah. Kayla's kind of going off here. She says, here's a topic. Basketball is such an unathletic sport that when women play it, it's even worse. I mean, you got a point there. Now take hockey. Women's hockey is very good. Ethan, you're a big hockey guy. What do you think about that?
Is this a bot? I don't know.
I don't know. She also says, do you think they should raise the nets 3 feet? Need 13-foot hoops?
Jay says a Quincy cut to the bucket when Damask is doubled seems to work out a lot.
It does work out a lot. The problem is when nobody's cutting, I think, is kind of the problem. But yeah, so thanks for stopping by, Kayla. We appreciate the comments. Goody, 19 minutes, 1 for 4, all threes, 3 points, 1 rebound, 4 fouls. Goody did not have a very good game in my eyes.
No.
Didn't do much.
If he's not making threes and only getting 1 rebound, that's a tough spot.
Yeah. Are you surprised that he had more minutes than Rutgers because of that? Because Rutgers only had 14 minutes.
I don't even think we should put anything into Brad's rotations on any given night.
Okay.
I think there's 7 guys that are going to play.
Yeah.
Which includes who would be okay. You have Harmon. 7 guys are going to play, and then you have Danger and Moretti and DGL and Hansberry and Max and Red and Sincere.
They're going to get a few minutes
and Ashton
here and there
and Jeff Alexander and Tim Anderson and Chester Frazier and
yeah. Rogers 4 points, 2 for 2, 2 rebounds and assists and a turnover. So 12 minutes from Ty. He sat some of the first half because of 2 fouls, and then it didn't seem like he played much the second half.
I mean,
I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. I'm not complaining. Don't
That-
attack me.
His 2 games with fewer than 20 minutes in the season have been Purdue, this game, and the Southern and Eastern Illinois games. So I think it's a flow of the game thing, you know.
Yeah.
He was fine in this game.
Yeah, I think Goody probably had the worst game out of everybody.
He'll play much more.
That's it.
He'll play much more on Wednesday.
Yeah.
That first Northwestern game, he only played 20 minutes, but I think that they'll want to do even more with him with Shannon there defensively. There's no reason that Illinois can't slow down their guards more than anybody else.
Yeah, that's true. Onto the bench, Terrence Shannon Jr. comes off the bench along with Harmon and Dane Danja. 28 minutes for Shannon, 16 points. I don't think he had his first basket until like 12 minutes left in the second half or something. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
4 of 10 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3, which is rough. His 3 points did not look good. He was 8 for 10 from the line, 1 rebound, 4 assists, and a steal. He had a steal with a breakaway dunk. Showed a lot of emotion. Guerrier and Harmon were both asked about him. Guerrier said, quote, "It's definitely good to have him back. I think a big part of our win was because of him. The way our transition often gets going, our defense is better with him. We are glad to have him back." Harmon said, "It's amazing. It makes the team feel whole again because we have our best player back. It's just fun. We're glad to have him back. He's our brother." So the guys were definitely happy to have him back, which I don't think that's any surprise to anybody. Underwood talked about how you could tell he was tired early. He said, quote, "You can run all the wind sprints, do all that stuff, etc. you want, but there's nothing like the adrenaline of competition." So
Yep.
Jay wants to know what kind of chant Shannon will hear. That's a good question. I don't know. Harmon had it cooking, so Ty sat. Yeah, when Harmon's going and playing like that, Ty doesn't have to be overplayed or. I mean, Harmon was finding ways to get to the basket without playing booty ball, which is good. Shannon is going to dish it off until he gets his shot back. He was about 0 for in warm-ups last game. Yeah,
I wonder, do you think during the suspension was he doing the routine where he shot for like an hour straight, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure that he kept shooting and you were away, but Underwood said there's a difference between the adrenaline of being in a game and, just putting up shots. So I think that probably had a lot to do with it. It was nice that he got out and ran. His first 2 times getting out and run was a lob to Coleman and then a pass to Coleman for a slam. So, just kind of getting back in the rhythm. 3 points I think will come eventually. Underwood also said, quote, "We played 6 games. I'm really excited about how our guys played when we didn't have him. We were really starting to find our groove before that. I think the integration process is going to have to be a little patient with it. There's no doubt it's back to who we were." So Jay says it's going to take TSJ a few games to get back to normal. Yeah, I mean, game speed's completely different. Jeff, what's up? Upset of the week, Iowa State over Kansas.
Maybe. Kansas has been not great. I mean, pretty close one against Cincinnati last night.
A lot closer than somebody thought it was going to be at the beginning.
It looked like it was going to be live televised murder.
Yeah. Underwood said that his biggest thought on Terrence was his struggle to play defense. He said on the defensive side, he is an elite defender. If I would say there was an area he struggled with today, it would be on that side. So, but yeah, Terrence is back. He played 28 minutes. Do you think he starts?
Nope.
I would have to agree with that.
He ain't starting, folks. He ain't starting.
How long before he starts?
Maybe
Saturday?
Until they lose. Like if they lose a game that he doesn't start.
Okay. Do you think that justify? Never mind. I'm not even getting into it. Dane, 6 minutes, 4 points, 2 of 2 from the field.
Good Dane game.
Good Dane game. I don't think he touched the court in the second half.
Good Dane game, though. All right, Hinkle, relax.
Steve said yes, he does start. Hinkle is worried about a murder on Twitter last night. I thought that it was handled perfectly fine, but I mean, Hinkle, you know who we are. We're not those people. Other notes and quotes. Illinois out rebounded Rutgers 46-32, pulling down 13 offensive rebounds. I already said Gary A had 5 of those. So Ethan kind of went over the numbers. 3-point shooting, 22%. Rutgers was 3 of 14 for 21%. Free throw shooting was not good. Brad was still happy with the shots they were getting. He talked about the 17 assists. Underwood said, quote, anybody that's a fan of basketball has to enjoy our movement. I do. I thought we passed it a little too much tonight. One thing we can't control is if the thing goes in. What we can control is second shots in another opportunity. So that's kind of it. Underwood said that he had great respect for Steve Peichel and said that it always makes you feel a little uneasy when you play his teams because everything is just so darn hard. But
there you go, nailed it.
Yeah, good game from Illinois. I think it was a good game to reintegrate Terrence Shannon. It wasn't on the road. Illinois got a little scare there, let Rutgers go on a run, and fought back and ended up blowing them out. So you took care of business at home, and we're not going straight to the next game because
let's get into the.
You want to go into Twitter?
No, fine. Let's one more. We'll go to Fears. All
right. Yesterday, Jeremiah Fears committed to Illinois.
Yeah, good. I mean, good. I expected, I would say.
Yeah, I think he had crystal balls out there. People have been talking about this happening for a while. He's not reclassing, of course, but ESPN's rankings just came out. He's a 5-star according to ESPN, number 16 in the nation in his class, which would be the highest recruit Illinois has had, I believe, since Jeremy Richmond. I don't know what Richmond was, but I believe he was in the top 15, but I could be wrong. On 247 composite, he's a 4-star and number 33 in the nation. Fears commented and said, quote, it's my hometown school. I want to win and be a hometown hero. They've been recruiting me the longest and hardest since 8th grade. I have a great relationship with Brad Underwood and staff. I was going to mention an ESPN article, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to mention an Armchair Illini article. Brian Benz has the full breakdown of Jeremiah Fears. If you want to go to armchairillini.com, you can find it there. But apparently he can get to the rim well. He's a very good free throw shooter, and he looks small to me, but maybe that's just me. How tall is he? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. And in other good news, Jace Butler is now a 4-star into the top 100. So Jace has biggest recruit since IO. Steve thinks that they'll start Shannon. If he doesn't, the team will not be happy with coach folding to outside pressure. I don't think that's why he's not starting.
6'3".
6'3". Okay, he's a little bit bigger.
He's also a class of 25, so give it time.
Be honest, are we really excited with recruits anymore with the portal like it is? I think you're excited with a top 20 recruit.
I would say he's more in the Sky Clark range of rankings. ESPN, not the best at this, but I would say he's probably somewhere in between right now. I don't know. I haven't watched a ton of them. Yeah, I think you have to be happy with the level of recruits they've been getting. Like the 2024 class is not overly flashy, but I mean, Merez Johnson keeps going up. He's 27th on 247. Jace Butler's top 100, and Jack Stees is right behind James Brown, who is Merez's teammate who committed to North Carolina, and he's dropped from top 30 to like 105 on 247. So that was kind of the other guy that Illinois fans wanted. They wanted to pair those two, but they end up with Jack Stees instead, who's a Yorkville, Illinois kid. So I think the 2024 class is perfectly fine. It reminds me, in terms of rankings, it reminds me a lot of 2022 class. Actually, I'm talking about the 2021 class, which was RJ, Podge, and Goody. Except the difference is that Podge was 72nd and Merez is 27th. But then you have two other guys that are outside or close to the top 100, and Goody and Melendez at the time. And, I'll be curious to see what Jace Butler is in this pro. Like, I hope he's a DGL type where he's not expecting to play right away.
Yeah.
But obviously it's natural that one of these guards eventually by 2025 is going to be gone.
Somebody had, yeah. There's not enough room on the roster for them all.
My guess on that, by the way, right now is probably DGL, but I don't know.
Yeah. DGL put out a statement, said that if it doesn't come from me, because I think we talked about it on the watch party, not on the episode, but if it doesn't come from me, don't believe it. So basically subtweeted his mom and said, don't listen to him.
That's a complete prediction from me, like crazy. A year.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be after next year. It might not be after this year.
I really do want Moretti to stay because I think he can be really good third and fourth year.
Yeah.
And you want a point guard like that in college basketball.
Embrot said, did you see Merez not making the McDonald's All-American roster? I did see that. I don't know. I don't know if do you think that has something to do with not going and playing at like a place like, Fears is at like Arizona campus or IMG or,
it could.
So I don't know.
Would he be, there's players, I don't know if there's anybody on the team that's like, somebody find what Merez's rank is on ESPN. Because like the only player that he's probably ranked higher than on there is Ole Miss commit, who's 38th.
Bootzilla says Clark was 27, Richmond was 29, Leonard was 30, McBride was 31, Io was 32 on 247. So he would be the third highest on 247, fourth highest, fifth highest. He's worse than all of them. Never mind. But Merez is what?
Merez
was in the 20s.
28 on ESPN. So the only player worse than him that got to the All-American team or ranked worse, I should say, John Bull, 7'1" center, Ole Miss commit, number 38. And I guess Zoom Diallo, Washington, number 29. Other than that, they're all ranked ahead of him. So I don't know. I thought at first you're going to say because he didn't go to a high-level program or something, or like a blue blood.
No. I'm talking about high school. Like he didn't go to academy. He stayed at a public school.
Well, I was just ready to say, Rutgers has two.
I don't know if Ford's a public school, to be honest with you, but
Ty Rogers, University of Ty Rogers.
Yeah, I assume that it has to be a private school then, right?
No clue.
Yeah,
but
somebody
shout out to Rutgers.
Yeah. So yeah, Jeremiah Fears. Hopefully he stays committed.
Yeah,
I don't see this kid not staying committed. But
folks, you know what? On social media, it's not the end of the world if he doesn't.
Yeah,
we hope he does.
So, on to Ethan apparently getting owned on Twitter.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, I'm going to pull up the tweet here. I don't know. This guy, this lunatic guy who is a complete zero, by the way.
Why are we giving this guy time?
Doesn't bring anything to the table because he's so dumb. Like he's pretending like he's not on Twitter for the engagement. He's a fucking zero. He's a complete loser. He has zero ability.
Isn't that the point of Twitter? Is for engagement?
Yeah, which is something, if you look at our Twitter feed, that's not something that I'm really doing very often.
No, you only had one clickbait title and there's nothing to click on.
Exactly.
From what I remember.
And by the way, I'm a big Jeff Alexander guy now. So shout out to Jeff Alexander.
Yeah.
So his tweet is pretending like we're talking about the fucking election or something. Like it's something very serious. Like who gives a shit what people say about it's so like objective. Like it's stupid.
Is this the first thing where Illini fans are actually agreeing with Andy Katz? is what I want to know. Like,
exactly. That's the
we
other
think
thing.
Andy Katz is an absolute moron, but we're going to agree with him that State Farm Center is the fourth hardest place to play.
So ILL Lunatic or IL Lunatic, he's from Georgia, so that tells you all you need to know about the IQ. Follow him on Twitter. He's a great follow at It's Just Garrett, Garet. You guys need to check him out. He's good stuff. So he tweets. We'll start at the beginning, I guess. I said the State Farm Center was bottom 5 in venues in the Big Ten, which
obviously a joke. Obviously,
yes. It's because like you got to think about their state, and
if you listen to our podcast, there's no doubt that Ethan is highly against how the Orange Crush cheers, and I don't like how the fans are. I don't like that nobody stands up. I don't like that anybody cheers. I don't know why you went after me when I posted that. By the way, you told me to relax. What was up with that?
I don't know. I was in the heat of it. I don't know. So he said what, and I said what, and then he said like bottom 5 as in worse in the conference. I said that was a bit extreme, but I don't think it's top 5 right now. Which is like, I'm not gonna laughable. I think the Big Ten's in the middle of the pack. Like nobody wants to. Like it's stupid. Like it's not that serious. Then he says, then just say that. Like he's the fucking police. I mean, fuck this guy. Then Ducey, who I don't have anything against Ducey. It's fine. Agree to disagree, whatever. I said, if you go watch the Purdue Northwestern game, that Northwestern student section is way better than anything the Orange Crush has done since the Bush administration. Like, it's insane to think that we have the greatest student section ever because we have a cool name. Like, the State Farm Center layout is a big part of why this sucks, too. And I said that Northwestern has a better student section right now, which maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. I don't know. What does it even really matter at the end of the day? Hopefully Illinois wins there tomorrow.
I mean, when you sit there and you can see them the whole time and 95% of the time their arms are crossed, I think you have a pretty good argument.
That, like, he didn't even include the tweet where I said I needed, like, why would he not include that tweet? That's not very smart.
I don't know. Apparently, you can't say that you're engagement farming and then put LOL after it. Like it was a joke. Calm down, buddy.
He said that at Podcast Line is entirely unserious. Now this is where it's like, is he talking about like politics or college fucking basketball?
Hold on. Has he listened to our podcast? Just because you tweeted out one thing, we're completely unserious.
Yeah,
come on.
I mean, if he's actually doing this for engagement, it's pretty smart. I'll give him credit, but I don't think he is. Don't give this guy a platform. Engagement farming is weird. Trashing your own game day atmosphere and student section, parentheses, when they literally get media praise. Who the fuck cares what the media thinks? The media who's not even watching every game. The media, Andy Katz, who we go after all the time. All of his lists in every way suck. But now he's giving us credit. So now he's like, oh my God, he's so right. Media praise. I mean, Jesus. And running, quote, Illini podcast while you do it, that's fucking worse. It's just going out of your way to look like a tool. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm not talking about the election.
It's actually
world
insane,
news. I'm not talking about the war.
Yeah.
We're talking about college basketball student sections.
Yeah. I was telling my wife about this, and I told her it's crazy because I would say that, I don't know, 75% of the people that listen to us agree with us on this, if not more. And there were comments after comments that said, yeah, they suck now. It's not good. I was just at the game the other day. It was terrible. Like, I mean, it's not like you were lying that it sucks.
Well, you also have this tweet here from Walker, Texas Ranger. This guy knows ball. You can literally hear through the TV how quiet State Farm Center is, and the Orange Crush just stands there like robots. Then I, a lunatic, oh, you didn't watch the Rutgers game. I know this because none of this shit. Like, dude, watch the game. Like, what? I don't know why people are going out of their way to pretend. Like, do we not want to get better? Do we not want our student section to be better? Do we not want the State Farm Center to be a harder place to play? I think that's something that we want. And this fucking zero is just pretending like everything's all great. Oh, yeah. I mean, Jesus. And also, he's pretending like it's like a world, like CNN's going to be talking about it. Like, it's
trying to deplatform us talking about Illinois basketball. Okay, buddy.
And if he wants to come on the podcast, I think I'd love to have him on. Be a great discussion. The guy just seems like a complete and total zero to me. I think there's a reason why I've never heard of him until this moment. In Illini world, I think he's probably just a guy that is trying. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just think that
I don't know why he pops up in all my stuff all of a sudden, but there was one where he's like, "My name's Lunatic. I overreact to everything. If you don't like me, block me." Okay, buddy. Cool. Like, what is this? Like, you literally say you overreact, which would be farming. So
if he wants attention, he's doing a great job. I will say that. And I'll also say this as well. He's got the team's record in his bio. I don't think he can be a bigger fucking loser than somebody who does that. I will say. And if he's older than like 15, then that's like embarrassing.
yeah.
Like that's what high school kids do is they put the record of their teams in their bio. I don't know.
Warner says that Illini Twitter is off the rails per usual. Jeff says he does have a point. Ethan does resemble a tool. LOL joking.
Sure.
LOL joking.
It's fair. I mean, he's right.
Barrow says Barrow. How do you say his last name?
Barrow.
Like
that.
Says State Farm Center was ruined when the renovations were done. Everyone hanging out in the club while the game is on. Warner says, I actually think SFC is in the bottom half. Bottom 5 isn't too far off.
I agree.
Bootzilla
but I'm not just going to say, I'm not going to say no. Illinois is in the middle.
Bootzilla says, our student section is lacking. You guys are correct. There's maybe half a row of students that get loud half the time. Hinkle has laughing emojis. And by the way, Hinkle, Alex Chi said, do what you got to do, boys. So
nice try.
Jeffrey, on TV, our fans don't sound that loud most of the time. Maybe it's the building. I don't know. Eventually, the reputation of the Crush will fall off, says Warner. Jeff says, grab the fire extinguisher. Hinkle says, hate to see a blue check picking on the little guys.
He does have more followers than us on the podcast.
Crypto Shock says, technical foul. The beard was glorious.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, Crypto.
It's tough. I'm just looking through his Twitter. He tweets like he's like 14 years old. So maybe I'll calm down if he actually is. But that's tough. I mean, one thing we can agree on is he said that he has Bardo on mute during games. I agree with that. But yeah, here's the thing. I like the Sleepers Media guys. Like
engagement farmers.
Exactly. And he's like a fan of them, I think, based on his tweets.
Oh, I bet he would go. I bet he'd retweet that they followed him if they did. So
he's doing it with Armchair, which you lost that, buddy. Good job, moron. What a zero. I mean, this guy, if he's trolling us, I think it's brilliant, but I don't think he is. He could say he is, but I don't think he is. But it's just like, what are we even like of all the Illini accounts to say that engage like I said LOL at the end of my tweet, dude.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna call me out,
the thing is, he wouldn't even have called you out if you wouldn't have said that.
Yeah,
and he would have been a mute point.
He didn't even include me saying that, so it shows how smart he is. Another response to his post, which 7 likes. Congrats, that's big time. Also, the Banana agreed with him, so he's got that going for him. The Banana said, I can tell you that Welsh Ryan is the bottom, which I think is just
that's insane.
We hate Northwestern, but come on.
Yeah.
And then I said, if a fucking banana says it, it must be true. And then he said, I'm a smart banana. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Another guy said, in his defense, the Orange Crush is a pretty lame student section. The media praise is rooted in the charitable work they do. Watch the Rutgers game and tell me how many times it's nearly dead silent on defense. Mackey, Assembly Hall, I think Michigan State, Breslin, and the Rack are rarely dead silent on defense. And he also said he was a student the last 5 years, did grad school, I'm not dumb, and refused to buy the student tickets in the Crush because of how quiet it is. Kids sitting on their phones during the game and not making noise. Lower bowl section directly across from the benches is significantly louder.
Yeah, when a 60-year-old lady has to get the crowd going, there's something wrong with your student section.
Yeah, I think people who you're living in the past if you think the Orange Crush is still this great student section that, makes it a hard place to play, which it's not. So
yeah, Gary A did thank the fans.
It's fine. That's what they got to do.
All right. We done?
Something you notice. Yeah, I think we're good. I mean, shout out to that guy. He did his job. If his job's trying to get me to be mad, good job.
All right. So Illinois has to go into a top 5 atmosphere tomorrow.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you could watch a Northwestern home game and think that it's a bottom student section, but whatever. I guess we have to hate them at all costs or something, whatever
Sure.
that is or that means. But yeah, Illinois up to number 10 in the polls now, 14-4, 5-2 in the Big Ten. Northwestern 13-5, 4-3 in the Big Ten. This is Wednesday night, 8:00, Big Ten Network. Northwestern has looked better, I would say, in some games. Since their 96-66 loss to Illinois earlier in the month. They're 3-2 since that loss. The wins over Michigan State, Penn State, Maryland, losses to Wisconsin and Nebraska. 9-1 at home this season, but that loss somehow being to Chicago State. It is much harder to beat them in Evanston. Again, like you just watch Purdue and Michigan State games, it gets tough with the noise and the way they play. It seems like they definitely are a team that plays a lot better at home, which probably doesn't bode well for winning in the Big Ten on the road and doing it in the tournament, which they did win a tournament game last year. Give them that. Beat Boise State, lost to UCLA round 2. But they did go into Illinois when Shannon was not on the team and lost by 30. And also the Barstool Northwestern account rivals the lunatic for stupidity. So just go ahead and look that up. I mean, the guy's bragging like saying an Illini account saying Shannon's back, and then the Barstool Northwestern account said, "Oh, where was he last time we played?" All that matters is that last time we played there, buddy, you lost by 30. So whatever. Those Barstool accounts are so bad now. The interns each year, the interns are getting younger, they're getting dumber. So it's what it is.
Jay says, hate to go off topic. Does Joey Wagner ask the Subas questions in post-game interviews? Joey's a friend of the pod. He did come after me last year, though.
Kind of a friend of the pod.
Yeah, he's been on the pod before.
He's like the best beat reporter that the Illini have if you don't count 10 or 11 others.
Yeah, and then he attacked. I can't even remember why he attacked me on Twitter. He said, "Do you still like my content?" Okay, buddy. I remember from Purdue game when Edie had 2 fouls and was on the bench for 11 minutes and asked Brad if you feel you guys did enough. What an idiot.
So I'll say this about beat reporting. Obviously, I've never done it, so I don't know. But I think you can tell a lot about who's good and who's not when it comes to defending themselves. And if you're a writer or journalist, quote unquote, or a reporter, and you can't play along and, take the criticism or play along with it, instead you have to be like, oh, so now you don't like what I write, or you don't, all this stuff. Like, I think that says all I need to know about them.
Yeah.
If you're humorless, then you're probably not the best. But I wouldn't know what questions to ask, so I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, they can't go too hard.
One thing I won't do is
ask questions anymore.
One thing I won't do, Jeffrey, is attack Barstool. I'm just saying the Barstool interns for those accounts.
He's talking about the school.
Yeah, like the Barstool Illini account I unfollowed. It was so bad. Like no time for that. Like they're all 18, 19-year-olds who tweet like they're 11 or 12 and they don't know anything about sports. So
engagement farming,
which is fine. I mean, it's not. We don't need the Barstool college accounts to be great, but it'd be nice if they were a little better in terms of you don't have to talk shit about everything. Like not everything. Like I don't even really talk shit about opponents.
That's true. Yeah, that's what they've turned into. It's just
which is fine, but I'd rather hear it verbally than on Twitter.
Yeah. So
whatever. Hansberry getting shots up. We'll be back. It's probably not going to play, but whatever.
He will be in uniform though.
Northwestern's lineup, I don't think has changed. Their last game, actually, maybe it has. Let me give this a look here. All right, looks like they have a new, since the Illinois game, they got Luke Hunger, the 6'10 sophomore, starting at the 5, playing fewer minutes than Nicholson, but replaces him. So they got Boo Booey, who was 2 for 15 in the loss to Nebraska. They got Langborg, who's 6'4", 195 senior Princeton transfer, was 5 for 14 with 4 threes against Nebraska. Tyberry was 2 for 10 from the field. 6'3", 185, senior guard. Barnhizer had a big game, 24.7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 4 steals in the loss. And then Luke Hunger, 6'10", sophomore, starting at the 5, playing around anywhere from 7 to 18 minutes as a starter. Also played 18 against Illinois, so we'll see. Not much bench usage. They had Nick Martinelli play 17 against Nebraska, and Matthew Nicholson played 27. So Illinois needs to find a way to defend some of their better players the way that Nebraska did. Because, I mean, Northwestern still made 10 threes, but they didn't get enough from Barry or Bowie. 15 combined points for those two. Illinois needs to dominate the glass, 40-26 Nebraska in that game. Nebraska had 18 assists. They also had 18 turnovers, which is yikes. But you can win games with that many turnovers. That game was, in Lincoln, so it's a little different. But Ken Pom numbers, adjusted offensive efficiency, Illinois is up to 8th in the country, Northwestern 59th. Adjusted defensive efficiency, Illinois 27th, Northwestern 78th. Three-point percentage, Illinois 33.7%, 173rd in the country, Northwestern 36.3%, 63rd in the country. Turnover percentage, Illinois on offense 16.2%, that's 111th in the country, Northwestern 14%, which is 15th in the country. Conference-only numbers, so this would be 7-game sample size for both teams. Illinois is 3rd in offensive efficiency, 2nd in defensive efficiency in the conference. Northwestern 5th in offensive efficiency and last in defensive efficiency. So the Purdue game, they defended well, but they gave up a lot of points because of overtime.
Right.
But outside of that, in conference, you look at Illinois scored 96 against them, Michigan State 74, Penn State 72, Wisconsin 71, Maryland 69, and Nebraska 75. So not horrible, but I have a feeling that some of the numbers they're giving up in terms of the efficiency they're allowing in certain areas probably doesn't help. Points per possession allowed, which they did allow 1.14 points per possession, and Michigan State shot 47% from 3 against them, even in the loss. So numbers would tell you that Illinois is the better team. The first result would tell you that Illinois is the better team, but you never know. Road environment, first game on the road with Shannon back. It's going to be interesting. And that takes us to players to watch. Yeah,
I'm going to go with Terrence Shannon. Like you said, it's his first game on the road. Illinois won by 30 at home without him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that and, how he reacts to fans probably not being too kind to him. Hopefully he'll be all right. Hopefully his defense is back. Like I said, I don't think he played bad defense, but Brad probably thought that was the worst part of his defense or his game last game. So you got to stop guys. You got to stop guards against Northwestern. I'm going with Brooks Barnhizer from Northwestern. He only had 9 against Illinois on 3 of 12 shooting the first time they met. But over the last 5 games, he's averaging 18.2 points per game with a 24-point game against Nebraska and a 23-point game and a 4-point win over Penn State. And in that stretch, he's shooting 46% from 3 and 59% from the field. So you can't have Barnhizer go off. You can't have Barry go off. I think you can have Boo go off, but, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm going Ty Rodgers and Boo Buie. Rodgers, I think he asserts himself early on offense in some of his best games this year. I think you get some early buckets from him. We saw that against Northwestern. Illinois had a quick 7. They had Ty to the rim. I believe Goody hit a 3, or no, Hawkins hit a 3, then Ty to the rim, and then something else happened, but they were up 7-2 instantly. He was solid, didn't play a ton in his first matchup. He only had 6 points, but 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block. Made both free throws, shot 2 for 4 from the field. Didn't do a ton, but be curious to see how he is used in this game. Boo Buie had 20 points in the first game on 6 of 14 shooting, so we'll see. It's going to be interesting with Bowie and Barry coming off of bad offensive games and Barnhizer coming off a big offensive game to see how they play. But either way, I'm going to take Illinois to win, which is where we go to the predictions. I'm not sure I'm giving Illinois' offense enough credit, but I think they score 75 and they win 75-65, 75-67. That should be fun.
I got them winning 83-74. When I first did it, I was wondering if I should have Northwestern getting in the 70s. I decided to, since they are at home, but I think Illinois wins this by 9. And we'll see what happens. Northwestern's not an easy place to play. The only good thing is I think there'll be a lot of Illinois fans there. So it is what it is. Jay says Illinois is minus 4.5. I think it opened at 3.5. So it's moving up. Jeff says we win by 13. Jeff also says, explain the difference in AP and KenPom with Alabama. Ethan.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know their AP ranking and their KenPom ranking.
I don't look at the AP poll, so are they ranked?
I don't have any clue.
They're not even ranked. You're gonna have to elaborate on your question.
What are they on the KenPom?
8th.
I'm guessing that's what he's wondering.
If that's what he's wondering, it's because of their offense is the reason why they're 8th, and they're not ranked because they were 6-5, and they're coming off of a loss to Tennessee. So naturally, you're not going to get ranked if you win 6 in a row against opponents that aren't great, and then you lose to Tennessee, and they're not going to rank you. But they're like by 5th. But it's really the offense. I mean, their offensive efficiency is the best in the country. Their effective field goal percentage is 4th. They're 13th from 3. They're 11th from 2, 12th from the free throw line. So if you have those offensive numbers and your offense is that good and your defensive efficiency is not great, but it's not awful, then you're going to be a highly ranked KenPom team, which is why you have to take all the metrics with a grain of salt.
All right.
There you go.
You got 3 minutes to go around the Big Ten because you said you were keeping everything under an hour now.
I don't know if I was applying that to this podcast, but that's all right. KenPom, all KenPom.com team right now in the Big Ten is Zach Edey, Jameer Young, Tyson Walker, Braden Smith, Terrence Shannon Jr. So Shannon missed several games, but he's still there. Hey Chase. Hey Chase. We have 24 viewers right now. 22 on YouTube.
Our following's on YouTube, so calm down.
Yeah, let me look him up real quick. See what we're working with here.
And Chase, if you want to see the comments that our viewers have said, they highly agree with us. So calm down.
Chase has 1,287 followers on Twitter. He's half of some sort of hip hop duo in Champaign. Very nice. Wow. Very nice. That's good. That is good. I mean, look, you're a guy who retweets the lunatics, so I get it. You're on your boy's side. You also retweeted Armchair. Whoopsie. Might not have wanted to do that. I don't know. You might want to go back, huh? But, look, whatever. I mean, I wish you well in your endeavors. I mean, it's not my style of music. It's Tyler's, but good luck.
Thanks, Jay. We're still going to go around the Big Ten. We're not done yet. So if we win, sure hope it's more than just a little. Yeah, you always want to win by a lot. So, all right.
He also, that comment makes it seem like we've been doing this for a month when the 192nd episode. I don't think things are going to change for. Also, like Twitter's a good platform for viewership. No, unless you're Elon Musk or somebody that has a lot of followers, then nobody cares. But biggest games in the Big Ten from now until Friday. You got a Peacock doubleheader tonight. Ohio State at Nebraska. That's a big spot for Ohio State. They need to win that game. And then Michigan at Purdue. That's going to be a tough one for the Wolverines. Both on Peacock 6 and 8. Also, you got Wisconsin at Minnesota on Big Ten Network. Interesting game there. Remember last week, Wisconsin losing at Minnesota or at Penn State. Similar spot. Minnesota's a better team though. See how Wisconsin handles that. You got Maryland at Iowa, which leads into Illinois Northwestern tomorrow night. And you got a big one, Michigan State at Wisconsin on Friday night. So Wisconsin be big if they can win these next two.
I saw Wisconsin has the second hardest schedule the rest of the way out.
Well, they have Michigan State. They have at Nebraska. At Minnesota is not that bad, but it's not great. They have Purdue.
Only like a 3-point favorite, I think. At Minnesota tonight.
Yeah, Minnesota, scrappy. They're not great, but they're scrappy. Much better than they've been the last couple of years. But which makes you wonder, like, maybe the Jamison Battle, Dawson Garcia together thing didn't really work. And maybe there's reasons for that, which I think there probably are. And their freshmen are coming along as well. Remember, there's flashes from their freshmen last year. Yeah. They also got Purdue. They got at Michigan, at Rutgers. They got Ohio State. They got at Iowa. They got Maryland. They got at Indiana. So, like, some of their, road opponents aren't the best teams, but Rutgers is a hard place to play. Iowa's never easy to stop them on offense. Indiana's never an easy place to play, especially Indiana. In late February, when Indiana is probably going to be on the bubble, but needing to win like every game. Which Indiana, do we love the fact that Illinois is going to be playing Indiana with them losing 4 of their last 6 and 2 in a row, and having a full week off pretty much? That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. I mean, Illinois needs to take care of business though, one game at a time.
Yep.
In the worst student section in the country in Evanston, apparently. Lenardi's bracketology from today, he's got Purdue as the number 1 overall seed. He's got Wisconsin as a 2 seed, number 8, so last 2 seed. And he's got Illinois as a 3 seed, last 3 seed, number 12. Michigan State 7 seed, Nebraska 9 seed, Northwestern 10, and nothing else there. The Northwestern last 4 buys team, but Ohio State nowhere to be seen. So plenty of work for other Big Ten teams to do. The max this year is 7 bids. That's the max.
Yeah.
Which is still going to require luck. I don't know if I see a team jumping Northwestern without Northwestern falling out or Nebraska falling out. But I think there's 4 locks right now, just because I think of the trust in Izzo would make them. I think Michigan State will get in. Illinois, Wisconsin, Purdue, I think are all pretty safe at this point.
Jeff says Minnesota is getting better, but they are not great controlling the ball, and their defense is sus.
They're young, and Ben Johnson's still trying to figure it out.
Jay says, I hate playing a decent team after a loss. Yeah, that's
now metrics-wise, I think Indiana is the 2nd worst team in the Big Ten behind Penn State. So decent, I guess. They have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
I'm not going to question the talent, but Penn State's 109.
They're kind of a mess. They're just a mess right now.
Minnesota's 93rd. Rutgers is 94th. Michigan's 79th. Indiana is 96th. So they are the 2nd worst, according to that. Which
Jeff wants to know if you have any upsets this week. His, again, is Iowa State over Kansas. I'll take BYU over Houston tonight, Jeff.
That's a real big upset. I mean, Jesus.
I mean, Houston's a favorite. Sure.
I thought we were going for some shock value.
I don't know who else. I don't know what other games are on. It's literally just on top of my ESPN right now.
I thought we were trying to farm some engagement. 27th.
I'll take Northwestern beating Illinois. Oh my goodness.
Give me let's see. Give me North Carolina over Drexel. North Carolina A&T over Drexel. That was a joke. I'll take, I don't know how much of an upset it is, I guess, but give me Louisville over Virginia.
Okay.
I don't think Virginia is very good, but I'm just trying to go off the board a little bit.
Bootzilla says South Carolina over Kentucky. That's extreme.
Yeah. South Carolina, they are 3-2 in the South Carolina. Why does the SEC have so many of these teams that have great records but aren't good? Like South Carolina 15-3.
Bad or easy scheduling?
Yeah, Ole Miss 15-3. God, the two most fraudulent teams in the conference are both 15-3. I mean, look at the numbers. That's all you need to know right there. I mean,
numbers.
South Carolina, yeah, they're gonna have a tough time with the problem with South Carolina is they're probably going to give up 80 plus to Kentucky no matter what. And I don't know if they can score 80 plus. They haven't scored 80 plus all year outside of 3 games. And those games were against South Carolina, Upstate, George Washington, and Florida A&M. So this is a team that also scored 47 points against Alabama's 64th ranked efficiency defense. So I think Kentucky is going to smoke them, but I could be wrong. It's the SEC. It's I assume, is that a weekend game? Maybe, maybe not, but that'll be interesting. That's actually okay. That's tonight. Never mind. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think that could be a tough spot. If it was a Saturday, I think I would almost be willing to entertain that idea, but Kentucky's got way too many guys.
Jeff says, I think everyone is talking Kentucky. They're still young.
Yeah, but the thing with that is that's when Calipari's at his best. Like the national champion runs that they went on, the 2011-12 team that went 38-2, won the national championship. The starting lineup for that team, I know it's a different era of college basketball, it's different, but that was a team that was led by Marcus Teague, freshman. Michael K. Gilchrist, freshman. Terrence Jones, sophomore. Anthony Davis is the best defender I've ever seen in college basketball. And I know I'm young, so people will think, what about Bill Haverman? Whatever. Anthony Davis is a freshman. Deron Lamb, sophomore. That team had 2 seniors that played any sort of minutes, and Eloy Vargas I've never even heard of and barely played at all. So it's a different era, I know, but Calipari's best teams have been young teams. The 2015 team with Karl Anthony Towns, Aaron Harrison, Andrew Harrison, Trey Lyles, Devin Booker, Dakari Johnson, Tyler Ulis. The veteran on that team was Willie Cauley-Stein, who's a junior. So and you look at Calipari the last couple years in the tournament, those have been older teams. Sheboy is a senior, Toppin was a junior, Antonio Reeves is a senior, Severe Wheeler senior. So those teams had freshmen, but they mixed in other guys. This Kentucky team is just Antonio Reeves and a bunch of young guys. And I think that's when they're at their best, especially when this team has a ton of options to score. They have Reeves. They have DJ Wagner, who's a freshman. Trey Mitchell. It's pretty much 2 seniors, I guess. Trey Mitchell's on the team, so I forgot about him. He's on his 8th team right now. Aaron Bradshaw, Justin Edwards, Reed Shepard, Rob Dillingham, Big Z, who is actually Big Z. Big Z is not Zach Edey, guys.
That is crazy because I literally just clicked on the article that says Purdue claims Big Z nickname belongs to Zach Edey.
No, you got to be European to be named Big Z. Look at Zdeno Chara from the Bruins. I mean, that's all you need to know right there. If your name is Zvonimir Ivisak, your name is Big Z because we don't want to pronounce it every time. Not Zach Edey. His name is Zach. You can't be a Big Z if your fucking name is Zach.
Yeah, you're Jesus. Just Zach.
I mean, what Purdue fans can fuck right off. I'm so annoyed with these losers. So annoying on Twitter. That Boiler in Texas account is literally the worst account in college basketball. 50% of that fucking loser's tweets are about Illinois. You've beaten us 3 times in a row. Stop being so worried about what Illinois fans are saying. You zero. Anyway, I think Kentucky is going to be very hard to beat because they're really big, so talented, and they have a ton of guys that can beat you. But they are young, so I think they'll get their lumps along the road, which they've already gotten. I mean, this is a team that lost to UNC Wilmington. So that Tennessee game on February 3rd will be big. The Auburn game at Auburn on the 17th of February is going to be big, but they'll figure it out. We'll see. I like Kentucky a lot. I like these types of games.
Who?
Not if Brad Underwood was coaching him. But.
Embrot says Purdue has some grade school stuff going on.
They have a complex they matter more than anybody. They fucking lost to a 16 seed last year. Jesus, we get your team is great. We've done nothing but give you credit. You've beaten us 3 or 4 times in a row, yet you still won't shut up about Illinois.
Fair enough.
It's good for college basketball, though. We need that type of stuff.
All right. As always, we'd like to thank the Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon at 700 East Broadway Avenue in Mattoon, Illinois. You can find them at www.alamo-steakhouse.com. Tuesday night special is crispy buffalo wrap, a crispy chicken wrap with a creamy buffalo sauce, red onions, romaine lettuce, and Swiss cheese. Their featured specials this month is a smokehouse burger, which is a half-pound Angus patty topped with pulled pork, candied bacon, crispy onions, barbecue sauce, and cheddar cheese. And if you like dessert, their featured dessert is a peanut butter explosion cake. If you guys would like to be a sponsor for our episodes or our watch parties, please reach out to us on Twitter or email us at illinibasketballpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, leave a review. Tell us we're engagement farmers. We don't care. But yeah, hit that sub button. I think we about
do kind of care.
55 away. I don't care if people call us engagement farmers. Does that put a bad connotation on us?
Connotation or connotation?
I don't know. How do you say the word, Ethan?
Let's go to the after show here, so to speak. How about the Bulls last night? What happened, guys? Bulls fans in the chat. That was weird.
They were down a bunch or up a bunch, huh?
They had us right where they wanted us, and then we just we got after them.
Pretty nice shot from Mr. KD, huh?
Yeah, I mean he's a good ball player.
Yeah,
I did see.
Jeff says he likes farming. Yeah, we're from Illinois. Do you not like farming? Oh no, he's from Georgia.
I don't, but go ahead.
Anyways.
Yeah, I saw Werner tweet about the Bulls, and then everything went to hell after that. I think they were up 20-23 in the third or something. And
Warner's pretty good at giving people the kiss of death.
And then boom, you're done. Good night. I did find it interesting. If you check it out, you got Goodman and Hummel, or Goodbloom, I guess. Goodbloom and Hummel on YouTube. There's a clip talking about Illinois. So check that one out. Imbrats, I mean, the call was bad, I agree, but you still shouldn't let that comeback happen. So
I missed it all. I fell
it was
asleep.
I was surprised that they overturned the call on the ice, as they say in hockey. But yeah, Kevin Durant did what Kevin Durant does. I mean, he's been on a tear right now. People aren't talking about the fact that he's literally averaging like 35-5 with 50, 40, 90 shooting splits almost at the age of 35. Like if he was on the Suns, they'd be talking a lot about it. But no, nobody wants. They want to discuss when things are going bad, but when they win 6 games in a row, nobody wants to talk about it. Also, the Suns have not lost to the Bulls since this podcast began. By the way, folks.
Wow.
9 in a row against those losers. But best of luck to him the rest of the way. I like Io, obviously. So, yeah, he played some good minutes last night.
Malcolm Hill got signed to a 10-day contract too.
There you go.
So
Congrats to Malcolm Hill.
good for him.
There was that game where that G League game where like all the Illini adjacent players were like popping off. Like I think EJ Liddell had a huge game. Malcolm Hill had like 40 something. Crazy. I don't remember where that was from.
Jeffrey says, is Ohio State going to give us problems with their size?
I mean, Rutgers has about as much size, if not more, than Ohio State.
Yeah. Isn't Illinois like the second biggest team in the Big Ten behind Indiana? Or am I crazy? Did I just make that up?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So.
And then the next team even close is Wisconsin. Then they're like 15 spots behind Illinois and then Iowa. But like, yeah, Rutgers has plenty of size and a way better defensive efficiency number than Ohio State, and Illinois didn't have any trouble with them. They do have some tall. I mean, they got some bigger guards. If you look at their lineup across the board here, I can't seem to find them. Here we go. 6'4" Gale, 6'2" Thornton, 6'6" Mahaffey, 6'7" Battle, 6'11" Akparo. So that's a big lineup, but it's not much different than Illinois. They do have a 6'11", 235 big man, which is almost Hawkins' size. Hawkins is right there. Then 6'2", 6'8", 6'6", 6'4" off the bench. So, I mean, yeah, I think their average height is 109th in the country, 77.6. Rutgers is 77.5 and 128th. So very similar. And Illinois is 78.8, 9th. But talent is, I mean, Ohio State's certainly got more talent than Rutgers. So take that into account. But all right, better hit the farms back up. It is cold outside, but the engagement farming has to continue.
That's right. Get it out there.
Which I don't even think I have to tweet anything crazy to get views. I mean, I don't know. Let's see if I can find a good one here.
I don't know. I feel like our platform's not Twitter anyway, so whatever.
735 views on a GIF of people clapping just because it said the crush was pathetic. So take that.
Jess says, I think we're going to have a low shooting percentage from 3 against Ohio State. It will be all right. Be all right.
Do they play at Ohio State?
I think so. I don't know. Might have made that up.
At Ohio State.
We only play
January
once, right?
30th. Yep. Great. What's Illinois' record in that building under Brad? Like 1-3 maybe? They won without Io there. I remember. Or maybe he came back from that game. Was it the game that he came back with the mask? It might have been.
I can't remember. Goldfish, buddy. I don't know.
That is, yeah. That's the game he came back, played 36 minutes, 19 points. They beat a very good – that team went on one hell of a run from the end of February. Since they lost to Michigan State and Io got hurt in that game at Michigan State, Illinois in 2021 beat 109 Nebraska, 14 Wisconsin, 3 Michigan, 11 Rutgers, or 11 Ohio State, 38 Rutgers, 7 Iowa, 11 Ohio State, then Drexel and lost to Chicago. So that's like right there, according to the KinPom metrics, that's 5 wins in 2.5 weeks. 5 wins against top 15 opponents. Hell of a run. Too bad they lost in the second round, but they played the number 10 team on the effing platform.
Yeah.
And that was a Loyola team that had won 7 in a row and bodied Georgia Tech in the first round. Of course, that was Georgia Tech another part of this, Illinois got screwed, that Moses Wright, who was the conference player of the year that year, didn't play for Georgia Tech in that game against Loyola, or else Loyola might not have won. So it's BS. Bootzilla agrees. So, all right, that's enough. We'll see everybody sometime in the near future.
Later.
When are we going to see people?
I don't know. When do you want to do? You want to do a watch party Saturday? You don't want to do one tomorrow, right?
I never said that on air.
Hold on. Is it in a text message? No, you said that yesterday. After
No, I think I said it on the watch party, actually.
I don't care. Whatever you want to do.
I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to be on
You only
Twitter.
do one of them, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, we've been doing a lot of them. I don't know if we need to do, every
That's
game.
fine. I mean, if we don't do an 8:00 game, it's not going to hurt me.
We'll figure it out.
See you guys Saturday. How's that sound?
Well, we'll see them before with a podcast.
Well, we'll see you guys before Saturday.
Thursday or Friday. Maybe even Wednesday. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But we'll see everybody next time. Lunatic, shout out.
Thanks,
Great
guys.
Twitter account.